the community from Spain, from Latin of America, or other places where the people speak Spanish. And a lot of peoples around the world from Korea, Asia, North of America, or Europe. This is the reason why I like to play with two different streams, because previously, let me show you in big. So previously I was working trying to translate everything to Spanish, to English, and for me it was a mess. So it's I'm lazy when I'm talking in both languages. Just talking in English is so hard for me. So I hope you enjoy with that. This is the reason why I like to paint more than talk. I know that I talk a lot. Usually I'm talking, but the truth is I would like to talk less and paint more, because I think this one is universal language, and this is the reason why I try to combine. I'm learning how to do a stream. Some people send me messages like, hey, you should talk less and paint more, because I would like to see how you paint, not how you talk. This is something harder for me because I talk a lot in Spanish, so sorry for that. And I'm trying to do it in the same way. So for that one, I'll try to talk less and paint more. Remember that one will be with that character. I hope you like the character. This one is for Signum Games. You have their logo and the links for the website and their miniatures. They have really interesting 3Ds and miniatures. I think you can buy both the STLs and the miniatures. So that one is a 3D printed that they sent to me. It's not a casting miniature, it's just 3D printed. I know, because I need to remove the not the mold lines, the structure from the 3D printers. So this is something that I have to say for them. Please send me the models without that, because I'm lazy. So that one is, I think, fantastic in general. So it's a really cool model to paint in general. Something that I like to say in general, this is not like saying like, hey, they have the best models. I don't want to say that. It's something that I like when I see a miniature in general with all the companies. When I see miniatures that they know, or some of them, they are painters, they know correctly how to sculpt miniatures for the painters. And other companies, they don't know anything about that. And then they just use the 3D to create something really incredible, but it's so hard to paint later. So that one is something with a detail. The level of the detail is like the Games Workshop style, something thicker. Talking about the shapes, about the volumes, with nice shapes, so really sharp to paint the edge highlighting, something like that. And in general, they have detail, but not like something like, I don't know if the name will be the same, but in Spanish we call it like Barroco style. I don't know if in English makes sense. Sorry, I would like to say that it's not something overloaded with the details. So it's like something simple with nice shapes and enough detail. So for that, I recommend you miniatures like that one, or in general, when you want to paint a miniature in general, not to play, because if you have to play with your army, you have to buy the models for that company and just that. But if you are looking for miniatures to paint, my best tip is try to buy miniatures which will have edge shapes. Okay, the edges should be really sharp, and then with a okay detail, so not without detail or with too much. So don't paint overloaded, detailed miniatures, because then will be a pain in your neck. So remember that. So it's really tough. Paint 100 details, in my opinion. If you have something more like superheroes, for example, like just, I don't know, something like anatomy, then the cape or a mask or something like that, maybe it's interesting if you want to play with anatomy or reflection from the fabrics or environments like OSLs, something like that is okay. If not, something like that plus other elements, for example, with a shoulder pad or, I don't know, another weapon like a sword or hammer, something to have different materials. This is the key for me. Don't paint miniatures that they have full metallic or full fabrics or full anatomy, because maybe at the end you will be boring painting exactly the same. If you have different materials, you will enjoy more your miniatures. This is why in general you can see, not the box arts, because if I'm painting the box arts for companies, they send me that minute to paint, and I'm going to paint. I talk about the Avenger miniature that I've painted from Black Sun in the past. That box art was just full metallic, and maybe the cape in general is just full metallic. So the exercise, the work was on the metallics. So maybe that kind of miniatures for you will be harder to paint than if you have metallic, like the typical miniature from the medieval. Something similar you can keep on mind, like orcs, dwarves, barbarians, something like that. That you have fabrics, the chainmail, the anatomy, then the hair. So in general, more materials will be easier to paint in general. And I think you will enjoy more because you have options to paint with textures, with different colors, with different finish. You can play with inks, with matte colors, satin. So at the end, you have more things. And after that, it's time to paint. Just that. I want to say anything else. Just painting. Just that. So I'm going to turn off my micro and I'm going to paint. I don't know if it will be possible. Okay, first, I would like to see in general, what do you want to see for that stream? Because in the previous one, I was painting, I'll try to do more zoom. I think in the previous one, I did it. Let me see, this is all the zoom that I can do. I think is a lot to see the miniature. But when I'm painting like that, so you can see the 3D printed lines. But this is for the zoom, so I can show you my brush. That one is the brush that I'm going to use to paint today. Something like that, something thicker. I think just with that, I can paint the miniature in 5 minutes. Okay, so that one is the brushes that you have to buy. When I'm playing with that, when I'm painting with that size, I need to move just nothing, my miniature. So now to talk, I'm going to use that zoom. Perfect. So you talk about the weapon. That? The bone on the horse head. Scary Dragon, I think that miniature is new. They sent me as a new release. They have as a new release on their website. So I think it's a new model. I'm not sure if it's from the last year. I have another miniature that I painted for Halloween too, from the last year. Maybe I can show you. Lend me a second and I would like to show you because I think I have on my, there, here in my studio, I have the model. Lend me a second. I'm going to move the, let me see if it's here. Let me a second. So that one is the miniature that I painted last year. So with different style, with different things, you see, I was painting that one. So it's for the same company, so they have cool models, and at least for Halloween, they looks interesting. So that one, I remember that I painted that tiny miniature just in a single stream. I think it's nice for a single stream, right? Or maybe someone is hating me exactly now. It's like, no, I hate it. I don't like it. That one. I painted just the front, okay, not the back. But I think it's a cool model. It's really, really tiny. I don't know if it's from the last year or not. They sent me like a new release. So I don't know if there are someone from Signum Games on that stream. So if there are someone, ask the question to them. Maybe I need to have admin in the future to control the the chat. Okay, so people here say, hello Adri from Ibiza, or Ibiza. Hola Adri. Maybe I should talk sometimes few words in Spanish just to teach you how to paint miniatures and some key words in Spain, like cerveza. This is the key for everything. Okay, so the horse, maybe. Okay, I'm going to paint a horse and I'll try to paint that chainmail. The chainmail too. I'll try to paint it, and maybe if I have time, I'm going to paint the leather wraps, and I'm going to give you some tricks for that, because it's something that in general I see, sorry for that, but I've seen a lot of horrible leather belts or leather wraps, And maybe because you are a bit confused with the process, it's just for that. So I've seen like the people paint like sketching, then with things or washes, then another sketching, then another washes. And if you follow just a process, I think it's easy. So I'm going to give you some tricks if I have time. Sorry, it's just the time, so I don't have time. Thank you very much to came to that stream. I'm laughing for the chat. Okay, so I think so. I'm going to paint the head and then the wraps. Perfect. Why the chat is saying that? Let me check what colors I need. I don't know if. Okay, this is my wet palette. A ver, let me see. I'm picking colors and I'm going to give you a general idea why I'm going to. Okay, Francesco, I understand that in general a lot of people is confused with the leather. So this is why I try to give you my idea. Okay, I'm here, okay? I'm picking colors. Another day I'm going to explain you how to organize your desk, because it's something that a lot of people has, like a expositor, maybe is the name, an expositor beautiful on the desk with 100 pots and then with a lot of dust between them, and this is something that is horrible for me. I'm really minimalist artist. I'm really different maybe, and I don't have anything on my desk, and that was something that I did in the past too. Now, because I have the computer and more things to film the tutorials and all that stuff, so I need to be a bit organized. But in general, I use my I don't know the name. I don't know. If someone from Spain can help me with that. ¿Cómo se dice armario o no sé ni en castellano cómo se dice? I was thinking the correct name in Spanish if someone from the chat can help me, but I don't know well how to say in my language. So this is fun, really interesting. Armario no, is estantería? No. Okay, I don't know the name in Spanish, so maybe neither in English. So drawer, maybe wardrobe, closet. I think it's closet. I think the correct name. So I have like a closet from, I don't know if it's from IKEA, or maybe I'm going to post a. Yeah, if I don't know the name in Spanish, maybe in English is harder. Maybe closest is the name. Or cupboard. Maybe cupboard is okay too. Okay, maybe you have many words in your language to say a word that I don't know in Spanish. Okay, I have everything closed, and I pick the colors when I need them, and then I close the. I close that element and just that. So I have completely cleaned my desk. Without pots, without dust, without everything. So really clean. Why? Because for me it's easier to imagine a miniature without a lot of colors in front of me. So I try to think about the miniature, then pick some of them, test them. For example, I'm going to give you an idea. And then, think. And then, estante. Maybe it's an estante. No, I think it is not estante. No sé ni, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to pick some colors and paint because I'm here. Drawer maybe. Yeah. Barbara, thank you for that. Let me see. I'm going to change the camera. Okay, I'm going to do something easy. Okay, maybe that the camera is okay. Okay, then for the what's the name? For the OSL, I'm going to use that color, okay, the mint green or other saturated color. And then the rest of the colors will be desaturated. So that means that we'll have less primary color inside. That's the trick. In general, when we talk about the saturation, it's how much close from the primary more saturated will be. So if you have the doubt, the question, okay, what color is more saturated, yellow or red? Yellow. Why? Because red is a secondary color, it's not a primary. If we are talking a primary color, will be magenta. This is why I use like a wildcard, like a joker, like the key, magenta instead to red. So if you don't know if you don't know well the temperature that you have on your colors, magenta is a perfect key to move to something colder or something warmer, because it's like between. This is like a key that usually say. In general, magenta will be warmer, but it's depend of the box that you will see. In some of them will say that that color is colder, because in some books they say that has a bit of blue, which one is incorrect. And in others will say that it's warmer. For me, because it's not clear in many books or in general information, red, please understand that red is not the primary color. It's so different. It's so different. CMYK, CMYK, CMYK than RGB. It's so different, and a lot of people it's mixing both ideas. Please, the primary colors is yellow, magenta, and cyan. Cyan means blue, just that. Boring blue, like that one. Okay, sorry, I have to show you that. Okay, I'm not the copy today. Okay, just that. I have to show you, just that. Okay, I understand. Sorry. It's my mistake. Okay, I'm another superhero. So this is important because I've seen a lot of tutorials. Sorry for that, but I've seen a lot of tutorials for some people that they don't understand well the difference and they say completely wrong. Red has yellow and magenta. It's not the primary color. So important. What about the K? Sergio Calvo, please. I'm here. Okay, about the rest of the colors. For example, this is like a theory for... It's for K. Okay, that's some colors which will help us to work. In general, when you see colors like that, we have the option to play with many browns. So what happened with that browns? So maybe in your mind it's like, okay, all of them are browns. Meh, more or less. If we talk about that browns, you will see some differences. For example, maybe I'm going to do something. I'm really excited to do that. I don't know how it will work. Okay. Okay. If you see, now it's moving my camera. Okay. If you see in general, you will see some differences, I think. That one I think is more evident than others. I'm going to, let me see. It's so similar. Maybe it's the same color. Yeah, it's the same color. Perfect. So when you see colors like that, be careful because you will think that all of them are browns. But the truth is you have some differences inside. What's different? So if I talk about that color, maybe it's the hardest to find the color inside. Why? Because it's the most saturated color comparing with the other colors. Why? Because you have more white than the saturation. If we are talking about black, it's exactly the same. So this is so important when you want to pick colors to paint something. When we talk about the skull, in that case for the model, okay, if we are talking about, no, what's the other one? Here. Okay, if we are talking about that, okay, you have to keep in mind that one, that element, the non-metallic metal, will be the element with the most contrast or the higher contrast comparing with the rest of the elements. If you add pure white there on the skull, that color, that element will stop to look as a metallic. So this is so important. If you don't have metallic on your skin, on your model, maybe you can increase here the color with pure white, because maybe in your mind, skull means white. Okay, that's perfect. But what happens when you want to represent the OSL 2? In that case, we have two different challenges. The first one is continue keeping that non-metallic metal as metallic, so should be the highest contrast on your miniature, then the OSL from the pumpkin, and then the OSL from this green that I'm like glowing green from that ghost horse on the skull. So it's difficult because if you increase the white here, the OSL will have less contrast. So remember that always I explain you that if you create a frame with darker colors, you have the option to increase the glowing effect, the OSLs, the magic lighting. Instead to play with white, you have the option to play with color, talking about the OSL. And then if you have less contrast here than there, that material will look as a bone and that one as metallic. If you continue increasing here with a lot of white, maybe, it depends on how you work, you will reduce the contrast that you created there. This is so important, and this is why I'm talking about the that colors. So if you see at the beginning, I started with some mid colors. So I'm not using white or similar. Okay, I'm using more or less in the middle. I'm talking about the value between white and black. Okay, more or less is in the middle. Less that one, which one has more white. So if you compare the rest of the colors, you can see that that brown looks more like green. Okay, if you see alone, maybe it's more like green. Inside, that one has more like rose, red, maybe oranges, something like that. Then that one is so evident, maybe at least for me, that has red inside or magenta. And the other one, that one, it's more like oranges, yellow, more like ochre. So this is how you have to analyze your colors. Not just think like, okay, what's the name for that? Tan earth? Okay, tan earth. I have to paint the earth with that tan earth. Just that. Don't play like that because the colors change completely comparing with the rest of the colors that they have together. If I have all the colors near like that one, like oranges or red colors or magenta inside of the brand, maybe you want to analyze correctly the colors. This is why I prefer to pick some of them and then pick which one is better for me. For example, in that case, that one for me is too warm for that skin. Why? Because just I think it's warmer for that character. So I'm going to remove that one because it has too much yellow or ochre. So I'm going to remove for the skin. Then I have the other 4 colors. I have the option to play with that one, which one has a lot of greens and maybe could fit with that one, that one looks colder than the other one for sure. Now, if you see that one looks more like yellow or ochre instead to greens inside of that brown, because now you can compare with something colder. This is so, at least for me, this is why it's so important playing with the temperature. Because just playing with the temperature, you can create huge contrast, okay? So maybe that color is okay. That one, because it's super desaturated, could fit perfectly. How much desaturated is the color? Easier to work with that. That one is exactly the same. And maybe that one could be okay if you want to play with the complementary colors. So if I show you that one, maybe now you can see that that one has more red inside because it's the complementary color. This is another trick to see what kind of color has the browns. Browns or the desaturated colors. If we are talking about grays, it's exactly the same process. Okay, browns and grays, for me, both are exactly the same. So commodine colors or key colors to paint when you don't know what color you have to add on your model. So if you play just with a single color like green, okay, if you think on superheroes, you can see, for example, I don't know, Iron Man, for example. You will see like red and yellow or gold and red, just 2 colors. If you see Hulk, You will see like green for the skin, and then the trousers without color, or maybe in the past with violet or blue. But if you see now, currently the design is without color. It's just black or a really desaturated blue for the jeans. So this is the idea. Play with a single color or maybe two, and then the rest of them desaturated. That's the key. Okay, so after that, I think that I'm going to paint with these three colors. Okay, so all that theory, all that crazy theory is just to say that I'm going to play only with that three colors. Maybe it was a really long explanation to say, just pick that color and just that. So, easy. I'm going to show you the name of that colors just to pick if you want to use them in the future for the skulls. Will work for all the skulls? Maybe yes, maybe not. It's depend of your environment. And then, if you want to, maybe it's the same color. Yeah. Okay, this is another mistake. I pick that color to show you like maybe you have the option to increase the contrast with this color, and now I've seen that this is exactly the same. So just pick one. Okay, it's both are the same. I don't know if I can show you the number. Yeah. So it's exactly the same. Why I've decided to play with that temperature? Because I'm going to move the temperature at the end. So if I don't like the temperature that I have for the midtones, I'm going to increase the final highlighting with something colder. I think will fit. Okay, so I'm going to add that colors on my wet palette, and I'm going to start to paint. I hope I'm talking maybe too much. I didn't paint, so it's like 40 minutes without painting, but I think my explanation with my English will be enough for all of you and you enjoy them. I'm going to reduce the okay. Okay, so vampiric flesh. Maybe vampiric flesh means cold for the flesh. So I think so I pick a nice color. I'm going to add here. So that color, then. Boa tarde, profesor lúdico. I'm going to use that one is green is white. Uy, uy. So nobody have seen anything about my Superman t-shirt? Nobody? Really? I have to show you again. Maybe you didn't see well. So that one, nobody? Light earth, it's the other color. And the last one will be a middle stone. That middle stone I like it because I like to play with saturated colors. If we are talking about browns, exactly the same. For me, a key color that everybody loves for sure. It's a Rhino's hide from Games Workshop. This is maybe one of the most famous color. And then other. Wow, if you talk in Portuguese, it will be harder for me, but maybe I can answer you some sentence. Maybe you will surprise if I answer you in Portuguese. Yeah, why not? So if I can talk in Spanish or English, it will be okay. Why not? So now I'm really busy, but I would like to do more interviews in the future for sure. Some people want me to do interviews. Sorry for all of them that I didn't do it this year because I'm really busy. Sorry, I'm trying to build my own studio, my company, or my things, my projects, and it's really tough. So I think it's harder than I thought. So this is our 4th year. Vanessa and me, my girlfriend, and maybe we'll need help. So if someone think that can help us, maybe we can hire him or hire her. Hire. Maybe you will see on stream and then you will be part of the company. Okay, so talking about that colors. I don't know if it's better mix. Do the mixes here? Yeah, I think that. I'm going to play just with that color. So if you see, I'm just painting without water. Then I'm going to thin my brush and I'm going to paint. Easy. Are you ready? I'm going to paint. Or maybe not. Hello, Andrea Rodriguez. Hello to everybody. I don't know if more people was joined to that stream. Hello for everybody. Thank you very much to watch that. I hope you enjoy. With all the things that I'm talking too much, but this is part of me. So I'm surprised that I'm talking a lot in English. I'm really surprised about that. Okay, so that one is the miniature, and then I'm going to start painting. Remember, let me show you, because in other streams I was moving here my water, just to show you that I'm not using water. I'm going to clean. Okay, I'm going to pick. Okay, and go for it. Ezekiel Brush Brand, Brush Brand. I'm painting with that one. Always I'm using exactly the same. Winsor & Newton. Maybe it's one of the most expensive. I recommend you. In my opinion, yes, the quality and the price I think are okay. You will have brushed for a lot of time, but it's true that now they have some issues, and some brushes they came not so well with the point, so it's like a lottery. Sometimes are okay and others not enough. So I can say my brand, the brushes that I'm using. To recommend that brushes, maybe I'm using them, so it should be wrong if I say don't buy them, but sometimes I'm not really happy with them, so I have to say the truth. Okay, I'm creating like tiny holes or noise. Sergio Calvo, the other Sergio Calvo. This is so funny. The most important is the water from my village. It's the key for everything. Not from Spain. Not the same water around of the Spain. It's the same. Here is the best. It's the key for everything. So you see, this is something that happens sometimes with the brushes. That you see like a snake tongue. So you see that 2 points. So this is something that I hate. But happens, just that. The plan was like the previous one, okay? Paint really quick, more or less quick, with 3 layers or something like that. As I painted the pumpkin and the other things, 3 or 4 layers, something like that. Okay. Okay, now once you have something like that, if you want, you can dip on the water and create like a mix between 50% water and painting, and then add some brush strokes to add like a thin gradient between that new scratching or stippling. Remember that I'm showing you with a huge zoom, okay? So in general, you want to see like I'm watching on that video. Later I'm going to show you with that zoom, so don't worry. You will see something more realistic. Maybe awful like that, but more realistic. This is because I want to show you everything with the best quality. So to see every brushstroke and show you where I'm painting and everything. So I don't want to show you the miniature like in the background and just a full white background and then something darker in the center and just that. Okay, first layer. I'm going to paint the second one. I'm going to pick the next color, that one. Oops, it's a bit blurry. Okay, and then I'm going to paint with a mix between both, just with a pick of this one. You see that I'm not using water. If you need to add just a bit of water, do it, okay? But you don't have to try to add a lot of water on your mixes because at least when you are building the shapes, you don't need it. Later, if you want to blend, maybe. It depends on how many layers you add. You will need or not. So if you see, I continue painting just in a single area. So I'm painting more or less there because I would like to keep that area near of the eye darker comparing with the rest to increase the effect with the OSL. The same like on that part of the teeth. Okay, this is why I'm not painting there. So in the center where I don't have the OSL, I'm going to continue increasing the highlighting. Just with that increased layering, you will see like the rest of the layers will look like a midtones and I think will fit really well. This is something that I love always when I'm painting, trying to create like random brights like on the teeth. You see that beep 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 in some of the teeth. I think you will get a high definition and increasing the contrast a lot in tiny areas like that. Okay, now I'm going to blend with this other color. Okay, I'm going to blend with that one. I'm going to add like a mix between 50%, something like that. Once I created the midtones and the highlighting. Okay, before doesn't have sense. Whoop, no, pop. Okay, you see the nuances that I've painted in some areas. Just with that, for me, it's okay. Now it's time to increase the highlighting for this green effect. And I'm going to show you the result with a small size. I think it's super easy, the process that I follow it. So that one is the color that I'm going to use, the mint green. Whoop. Where's my miniature? Where's my miniature? Here. Always, when you paint, try to have sharper brush, not like me. Okay, you see how it changed. Now, once I added the OSL, all that area looks more defined. This is why it's important keeping some areas darker. Because if you increase that highlighting where you have white like there, maybe it won't work. I'm going to add a bit of water just to add there like something few, not like a glaze, but to clean there and see how it works. Okay, perfect. Now inside there, I'm going to do the same. Okay, and now I'm going to paint the edging. Okay. So you see that I've painted, this is something cool that I would like to say. You see that I've painted the miniature, okay? And I've painted many times that teeth, okay? Now you will see how big is that teeth, okay? That I've painted like the first layer, then the reflection there, then the bright, and then like a OSL lighting came in from the bottom side, okay, on that teeth. And this is the size that I would like to show you. So I think I'm going to blow your minds. So this is how it looks. This is my finger. Bam, bam, bam. I think that's, you should give me some likes just for that. So push the button from likes and share with all your friends. So there you have the result from that skull. What do you think? Just using 3 layers, I think I've painted, and the 4th with another color to glaze a bit, and then the magic OSL. What do you think about that? This is more realistic size. I'm going to do something bigger just for you, because I love you. What do you think about that? Tell me on the comments and on the chat. Please use the comments, send me likes, give me love, give me laugh. So what do you think about that? What's the next step? What do you want to see? The chainmail, the leather, I think maybe the chainmail first and then the leather could be interesting. Tell me. Nobody say anything? Please, I'm talking a lot. Is my micro working? Ha! Ha! Should I do ASMR? I don't know how to say ASRM en español. Like that few or low noises. Like look great. Okay, so next. Muchas gracias por esos comentarios. Thank you very much. Superman Eyes. Pum, pum, pum. Okay. ASMR. So I said right. So I was thinking that will be different. I don't know, different than in Spanish. Maybe we use the English word. ASMR. Okay, so you're talking about leather, and I'm going to paint leather. Okay. I'm going to paint that metallic area first, really quick, and then the leather. Just to keep the attention to the end. Just the best will be to the end. And I'm going to use inks, something that I didn't use in previous streams. That one will be the new, something really fancy, using inks. If you like leather, I'm going to show you the chainmail. I'm going to use similar colors plus dark green gray. That one I think would be interesting color. And maybe a bit of pastel blue plus that colors. I think with that will work. If you say chainmail fast, maybe I'm going to paint other things like leather. Good point, slang. So was nice that. I can't paint with pastel pink today. So I was painting with pastel pink a lot of time. I wasted or spent all my pastel pink. I need to buy a new one. Pastel pink forever. So you see my wet palette? This is handmade. Another day, or I will see to do a tutorial to explain you my wet palette. Super fancy with 2 elements and a lot of years with mine. I made some of them because I have the same palettes for my painting studio in my workshop. In my workshop studio or painting workshops in my studio. I think now I said well the sentence. Okay, pastel pink or pastel blue. Okay, 31 likes and 39 viewers. So please. Okay, so I'm going to mix that color with, for example, that one. For example, just that, to create a gray color. When I'm talking about gray colors or similar, I always am talking about gray plus color. So I don't like to play with the perfect gray with black and white. That kind of colors, I hate them. So always, for me, should have soul inside with more red, more yellow, more blue, whatever. But something inside, not just the technically white and black, because at least for me it's boring. So it's like, meh, I don't like it just for that. That kind of color for me, it's a colder gray. Which one will fit on that steam? Oh, sorry. Maybe it's that one. Perfect. So how you have to paint chainmail like that? First, you have the option to paint with a dry brush, something that I hated. I don't like them. Sorry for that. I see that there are really big masters about dry brushing, but I think never I'm going to paint with dry brushing on my miniatures or on a stream. I'm laughing because when I have students, they few times told me like, nice ways to do it, but if you do a dry brush, will be better. And they show me how to use the dry brushing. And this is something that for me is like random, so you can't control it. It will be completely random, and I don't like the result. But this is just for my taste, okay? It's my point of view. Just that. If you want to paint with dry brushing, do it. For that one, will be a bit more complex. If you see the tiny holes, okay, for that chainmail has like tiny holes. I'm going to try to paint the hole inside, like I'm going to paint it because I think will be easier to see. I'm going to try to paint that, and then if works, I'm going to paint many of them. And I'm going to see if it's working, or if I need to do other system. If that doesn't have enough contrast, I'm going to try to paint another bright on top, like there. But I think that if I paint only on that way, that bright that I've painted on top will be the bottom of the top one, like that. Pop. So this is why I think if we paint the bottom of all them, will be okay to create the like the shape. Where I'm going to paint it? Around that line. So if you see that I've painted more or less with airbrush, more or less the line that I would like to follow for that. And you don't have to paint everything. I think just painting with the first layer, like with the first layer maybe everything or 90% of that, but with the next layers you will see like I've painted just in few areas really quick. So I'm going to be in silence and painting. I'm going to clean my brush. Always try to have clean your brush because it's important. So if not, it will be harder to paint. And with wet inside, another trick. I'm painting really fast, okay? Really fast. Now after that I'm going to paint like another reflection there, near of the fur from the horse, and then maybe there, to have like a black lining or darker lining between that brights. With the point of my brush. Okay, we have something like that. Maybe on top I need a bit else. Okay, perfect. So once we have something like that, I'm going to increase the effect from the metallic. Where? More or less in the center. We'll see if on both sides I need. But in general now, I'm going to add that color, a bit of gray, or maybe the other one. Be careful with that one, because if you have something like green like that, in that gray, yeah, that one has a lot of green. So if I mix it with something that could have a bit of oranges, for that brown or that ochre, so I will have something like gray. If I continue adding more from that color, maybe at the end will be green again. So this is why I continue adding more blue. Once I move to something more neutral, with more blue instead to green, maybe I have the option to use that one for the final highlighting, okay? This is why I'm not using that one to continue increasing now for the mid-tones. I'm going to use that one, okay? That's the key. Keep that on mind, to level the temperature and level the color between green and blue. And I'm painting in the same places, but if you see, smaller size, to use the previous layer as part of the gradient. I'm thinking to increase a bit here the contrast, because maybe I have too much black. This is something why I like to play in that way, because with the next layer you can fix the previous one. If you're playing with glazing, it's so hard to fix something. Okay. And now I'm going to increase just the final brights, more or less near of the head of that horse. So for that I'm going to use that color that I said previously, and I'm going to add many layers with that. So many, like 2 or 3 layers else. But you will see like that layers is so quick. So you will see now how it works. Maybe the idea to work in that way previously, and maybe I'm repainting, it's to see where fit better. If you don't know where you want to paint, maybe at the end you know the result. If I'm painting and seeing that that area is interesting to increase the lighting, now it's where I'm going to reinforce that contrast. So this is why I'm painting previously like 90% of everything, just to check like part of the sketch and to know if I like it or not. Okay, with that color I'm going to paint some brights random, like for example here. And now I'm going to paint the final highlightings near of white. So, and for that, instead to play with white, I'm going to use just that color full, just pure from the pot, and just that. I'm going to paint the final highlighting. Okay, I think like that. Okay, I'm going to show you the result for that chainmail. So this is with the size, okay, that you can see. Okay, so this is with the size for that chainmail with non-metallic metal, and this is how it looks with a normal size or smaller than the other one. Okay. So this is how I work when I would like to represent non-metallic metal, painting with different tonalities, midtones, and then the final brights for the highlighting to represent that effect. If you see, I have like a high contrast with midtones, with reflection on top and on the bottom of this chainmail. And then on the center of that, I'm going to increase the contrast to have like a focus point with the final highlighting there, pop, to increase the contrast. So there you have the result. What do you think about that? Tell me on the chat, tell me on the comments, tell me everywhere, and let me know if you like it or not. Because maybe you were waiting for the leather, and that was awful for you. Mr. Thanks a lot. You said completely right. Perfect. Pablo Gutierrez, you are here in the perfect moment, in the right moment. Sergio Calvo. Sergio Calvo, someone with my name, say that how I know if my brush is too dry. Because you will feel that when you touch the miniature, it's like dust or like earth on the point. So it's something like doesn't look like fluid. So, and I recommend you clean it between every mix, always. When you will make a new mix, clean it well and then load water, okay? Just dry the brush on your paper towel on the wet area and then load your painting. You will have enough wet on the brush and will be okay. Sometimes when I'm talking, if you have air conditioner or I don't know, you live in a warm place, it's tough because it's drying not in seconds but in minutes. So this is why between every mix I recommend you clean your brush and then make new mixes and paint again. Okay, so this is more or less the effect that we have for that, and I'm going to explain you some tricks for the leather. Okay, so this is everything. I think it's interesting. I think works. It's really tiny, but I think it's okay. Something that maybe you don't remember from the previous streaming that you can see, it's that area where I was painting. So you can see the texture that I've painted on the leather there. So first I've painted the edging, so you see the globes. I've painted in really easy way to do it, so I think everybody can do. And then the pumpkin, I think is really nice and was really fast, and I think it's cool. I think I like it. I think the worst part for me was that one, because maybe I was the non-metallic on the shoulder pad, because the red I think works really well as a cold red, and the other one too, that one. So to show my finger is so big. Okay, so time to paint the leather. Just that. I'm going to be in silence again. Whoop. I'm going to pick some colors. Maybe it's blurring the color palette. Pablo Gutierrez, yes, why not? I'll try to do tutorials about how to take photos on minis. It's true that it's something harder for a lot of people, in general for everyone. It's something hard. Flame Seeker. I'm reading now the chat. Nice joke. Okay, for the leather, maybe I'm going to play with similar browns, like the other leather, but a bit colder. So I'm going to use a bit of Russian green, then British khaki, and I think just with 2 colors will be okay. And then I'm going to use inks. I'm going to show you my favorite inks, the best inks ever in the world. Now I'm going to show you a trick, another trick, because this is just because there are more than 40 guys or ladies and gentlemen watching that stream. Okay, I'm going to show you another trick with that ink. The best inks ever in the world. Bam bam. Okay, I'm going to show you a trick to paint leathers with that inks. That blue? No, that blue, no, that blue. Blue. That blue. And the other brown. I'm going to use these both to add on the inks, just that, okay? This is the key. Mira. I don't know if it sounds well or not. Okay, so I need to add brown, for example, there. Just with that I think will be enough. I don't want to waste my favorite inks. Slang. If the people see that that stream later, maybe won't understand many jokes. So you have to watch it on live. It's Saturday, so okay. British khaki, as I said, is not a joke. British khaki. Damn. Francesco, you have to buy a lot of paints. Maybe I should send you the Amazon link to buy all the colors. Links everywhere. Links. Buy here. Buy more. It's so chat in the recording, I think. I didn't know. I thought that chat is just full for the stream, for the stream on live, not later. The face is a little red. It's for the camera. It's because I don't know. It's just for the lamps. Here you can see that I looks. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so the idea, that color, mix it with the other one. Just that. Rather than really. Next step. I'm going to mix like that. Like that. Okay. It's the water from my village. I live in a really valley, so it's a true valley. So it's it's not like Silicon Valley, but it's a valley too. So I have mountains around me. So it's a really fantastic place. The way to do it. Make lines, draw lines, do whatever you want, but paint lines like that. I think everybody can do lines like that, so it's so easy. Okay, step 1. You win. Okay, step 1. Next step. More brown. Or British khaki in that case. Then paint the edge highlighting. Oops. The edge highlighting as thinner as possible. Please don't paint like highways. Barbara knows what I'm talking about. So don't paint like highways. Should be as thinner as possible, please. Then paint the bottom of this wrap or leather belt, or I don't know the correct name for that element on that horse. Okay. Do exactly the same lines, but going from the center to the bottom. Okay, you see? Like that. More than one will say at home, but this is what I do. Sergio, why you are painting like me? So this is something that everybody knows. Ha! Maybe it's what you think, but maybe at the end the result will be so different. Okay, now we have something like that. Now it's time to add more color. In that case, saturation and light. This is why I pick both colors. So if you didn't see me, it's like pick and pick. Now painting the top edge. Like that, okay? If you make noise when you are painting that stippling will be better. So that's the key. That's the key, not the brush. Making noise or singing sounds or singing. Okay, now painting some lines going from the top to the bottom. Like that. More. Thinner, you see? Something thicker, something thinner. Thicker, thinner. Like that. Okay, we created something older, like scratching and similar. Now I'm going to focus the highest highlighting or the main light in a single point, just a single one. For that one, I'm going to move. I have two options: move to the center of the head, okay, like for example there. I'm going to move the attention there, or move to the right there. In that case, I'm going to move more or less there. Why? Because I don't want to add the highest highlighting near of that OSL, which one should have shadow there to increase the contrast with the OSL. And then if I move there, maybe I'm going to lose that shape. Whoop. You see that kind of letter D, like it's like a letter D, more or less like that. So there I'm going to add shadow, and there too. So more or less there where you have the belly, you can see the belly. It's where I'm going to increase the highlighting. So exactly with the same color, I'm going to clean my brush first. I don't know if you can hear me well, so I was making a lot of noise. Okay, so with exactly the same color, I'm going to do the same there. Like that. You see, all of them are really thin. I painted that one thicker to show you the difference. Okay, now next layer. Just that color. Flame Seeker. For sure, that's the trick. Number 1 and number 2 and number 3. That's the truth. Okay, I think yes, with that we have enough contrast because the rest of the contrast will come with the shadows. I have a mosquito here. I don't know if you can see on the camera. I have a guest on my finger. Oh, where is? No, now he's flying or she is flying. It's really tiny. Okay, I'm going to paint the bell really quick, just with that color, just to show you better that area, because maybe with that color, maybe you want to see well the other belt, or the belt or that wrap. So I'm going to paint really quick. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, I was blowing, it's true. That's the other secret. Blow your miniatures. Okay, I painted really fast. This is just to have more or less painted there. I'm going to blend just a bit. It's okay. Now is the moment for the inks. That's something that a lot of people is ready for that moment. It's something crazy. Crazy. Okay, that one is blue, blue and brown. I'm going to add a bit of water there. And I'm going to remove that to have focus it on the palette. You see perfectly where is the water. Okay, it's there. Pam, 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 pam. Okay, so I'm going to add brown. You see that is brown. Focus, camera. Okay, that one is brown. Perfect. And that one is blue. Okay, and we can create black like that. And some of you will say like, no, this is green. Looks like green, but not on your leather. On your leather will look like black. Ba-bam! And maybe if I move there, you will see like black too. Chan chan! Chan chan chan. That's the trick, okay? First, I'm going to paint just with brown. Whoop. And I'm going to paint the leather on top. Like that. The first layer, I'm going to add more layer for sure. Okay. And now I'm going to mix with a bit of blue. To have something darker like that. And increase the shadows. Let me dry that. Okay, I'm going to use my hair dryer to paint, to blow this. Okay, I think more or less is ready. Okay, you should see more or less like that. Now it's dried. Don't apply more layers if you see that it's completely wet, okay? Should be dried like that. Okay, like that. So once you have that, it's time to add the final scratching or highlighting if you want to add something older. But that's the process that I'm going to use for the leather. I'm going to paint here. I don't know what's the name for that. Someone say the name for that? That kind of, I don't know how to say that. Details, rivets, maybe? Now more than one will think hairdryer as ASMR. Okay, and will be something like that. Okay. And a beatboxer. Okay, so I'm going to add a bit of green under that, just for the glowing effect. Just there. Okay. Maybe here could be interesting too. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you that how it works. I hope you like it. I'm going to adjust a bit of ink on that belt to increase the contrast. Okay. Okay, so that one, it's the leather. This is how it looks. Okay, this is how I work with the leathers. Really fast, but in general you can see the result. Okay, what do you think about that? I hope will be okay, and you send me a lot of likes and comments and a lot of things. So tell me, I would like to see your feedback for that. Now we have 50 viewers and 50 likes, so this is incredible. I hope you like it, that stream. I hope you enjoy how I was painting that one. So that one you can compare with my finger. It's really, really tiny, and there you have the result. So I was painting really quick with few layers, not with crazy stuff like going up, going back and forth the whole time, just following one process, a single process. I think just with many layers, like 4 layers, 5 layers, you have really incredible results. But if you want to play only with 3 layers, will be the same. Just few layers else. Okay, but if you understand well the process with 3 layers, you will see how later you can increase with the 4th and then with 5th. So this is the result. This is how it looks. I don't know how it's on your camera, but I would like to do more zoom again to show you everything on detail, what I was painting. So there you have just 3 layers for the head of the horse. You can see the teeth, how I painted, just with the with the edging, how I was working with the OSL, how I was painting the chainmail for the non-metallic metal, and then how I was painting the bell for sure. This is amazing, the bell. The bell I think is the best. So that bell is the best on everything. But in general, I think works everything well, and the leather, I think it's a nice process. You don't have to add scratching, then glazing or washes, then scratching again, then washes. Just following a simple process, and you will have leather like that. You can compare with my finger again. So it's really, really tiny. I will take a photo and I will share with all of you. So as I said, thank you very much to watch that stream. I would like to say here. So thank you very much to watch that stream. I hope you have enjoyed watching that one. And I hope see you in next one. So again, thank you very much for your huge support. If you want to continue learning, you can join to my Patreon channel, where I'm going to upload every week more tutorials, ebooks, and more stuff. And if you want to continue watching the streamings on YouTube or more tutorials that we'll do to YouTube, you know, subscribe and enjoy painting. Have a nice weekend, and I hope see you next streaming. Bye bye. Bye.